Oh, God. Okay, this thing's like half gone.
My son how to do this. Oh, he does not know how to do it correctly.
Fist bump?
Yeah, he punches your hand. He's been doing goalie more this year, which is it's okay. He's been playing soccer now for 16 years. It's time for him to do something new. Well, he did down in Mason. He did a decent stop, and we did the fist bump. And I thought he broke a knuckle of mine.
Oh no.
We're recording. Zach, I know you're not watching your dad, but according to your mom, you do listen to us occasionally. So am I going to clean it up? No, because this is how I raise my son. No. Hi, guys. How you doing out there? Thanks to all my
Fist bump him, Zach. Fist bump him hard.
Beat the shit out of your dad, Zach. That's right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching our second part of the spooky ass ghost stories. That's right. Chris shared a bat story that can be creepy as hell, especially when you're abusing your children when it comes to bats. Sorry.
Wait, isn't that messed up?
And I want to also add everyone in Chris's household that I've noticed so far, between him, his wife, and his daughters, none of them have black hair. Now, your Natalie's cousin, he has the darkest hair out of all of you, right?
Oh, for sure.
And has he ever had long hair?
Matthew?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So maybe we could debunk that. Maybe that was Matthew that she's seen in that mirror. Or was it a mirror again? I'm sorry.
Yes, it was a mirror. That's possible.
He
was going through his little, we used to vacation in North Carolina. And he was going through his little surfer phase, and he grew his hair out real long. Yeah, maybe that was her ghost.
Oh, and of course we have our special guest, Jake, who's joining us here because he's got to share a spooky story. Oh, and by the way, Jake, Chris, did you know that you could do this with your beer bottles? I
think those are udders.
So,
I mean, it's white on top.
Dude, that was racial.
Hey.
No white udders here, or was it white head? You know what? Shut up, Scott. Shut up. Sometimes you just need to shut the hell up, Scott, because that was rude of me. Speaking of rude, Jake, how the hell you doing, bud?
I'm fantastic. How about you guys?
Well, man, I'm telling you what. It's a good thing I don't have a couch here because I got a long story to share with you that's just all about bitterness and unjoyfulness, and I'm just pissed off at the world right now. But we're not going to go there because we're here down in the man cave, enjoying life, enjoying our freedoms here in the United States, right? Which is another bad thing to say. Son of a bitch.
Oh, God. That was like three bad things. And
you know what? Fuck it. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to feel comfortable right now in my man cave with my two buddies here. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We got some stories to share, some spooky stories to share. And I'm going to start off with this one, guys. I know you've got to be bitter about this one. You've got to be. This one right here came across, this is some spooky but some random shit. Okay?
Is this personal with you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, hit me.
Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and Will Smith have been separated since.
This is personal.
Because, man. Because it won't slide for me there. It's making me look like a fool here. There we go.
Oh Lord, oh man.
I tell you what, man. I mean, first, Jada is making her husband look like a piece of shit.
Wow. Yeah, I did. I saw this in passing. Man.
Jada. I don't know if I pronounce your name right, Jada.
What else can he do to this poor man? I used to like Will Smith, but Jesus Christ, he's more like a.
He's a bitch.
I don't even want to say it. What's the word?
He's a bitch in this marriage.
No, it starts with a C.
Well, he's that too, apparently.
See you next Tuesday.
He's a C yuck.
Oh.
Apparently, when Will decided to go up there and slap Chris Rock, according to Jada, from what I've heard from other sources, or maybe it's in her damn book, she was shocked that he did that. She thought it was more or less like a joke.
Bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Bullshit. You can actually see her face change, and you can see her look at him like you better do something.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Will, go slap his ass.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
You're kidding, right?
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
I don't want to be this, that, and the other, but I don't even see what the fuck the attraction is. What redeeming factor is there? I don't see it.
I don't see it, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Oh, and I didn't. Let me make sure that I make this very clear. According to Jada, they're not legally separated. In other words, they've been separated, divorced since 2016, but not legally.
Because she's in another entanglement. That's the biggest bullshit thing I've ever heard. Entanglement. What the fuck were you in? You were entangled with his balls? What were you entangled with? What was the entanglement here?
Money. Do I need to spell that out anymore, Jake?
No, you don't, Scott.
No. Speaking of which, folks, as usual, I'm sitting here in my part of the man cave enjoying some Irish orange whiskey, some Jameson orange whiskey, and some, wait a minute, I really butchered that up. No, I didn't. And some Holland beer. I'm just showing my true roots here.
Horizontally brewed.
Yes. Man, I screwed that up. I really did. You know what? I'm just going to edit that out. No, I won't, because I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. Jada did this to me. Jada, you bitch.
Yeah, fuck her.
Meet us in the man caves. Underwear that's fun to wear. Super duper absorbent materials that absorbs 25 times its weight, neutralizes that shitty and pissy odors with our lavender musk scent. Shitty melt protection to pissy melt protection. Maximum overloads. Meet us in the man cave's fresh protection underwear that's so damn fun to wear. Now come on, what are you wearing?
Only available at Bubba.
Jake, what are you drinking here, my friend?
I'll be damned.
Mike's Harder Lemonade. Harder.
Harder. So there's
Boston.
hard and then there's harder. What
Yes.
steps it up? Is it like higher percentage?
Yes, 8% instead of the
Oh, fuck.
5, yeah. So
That's a goddamn malt liquor at that point.
Jake's joined us a few times here on this podcast, which I'm extremely grateful for. We enjoy having you here. He's our walk. See, Jada, you fucked me up again.
You should have never brought her up, man. She ruins men's lives.
She ruins our lives, man. Well, I sympathize for you. It's no wonder you're sleeping with men now. But
She
Jake,
got you tongue tied and everything.
you're a walking encyclopedia. So I'm expecting to maybe, I don't know, I'll set you up later, see if you can remember something for me. I'm going to need your help in this video because of Jada. But, you know, we got some random spooky shit out of the way. I want to go to music, guys, if you don't mind. I don't have anything here on the screen to share. I wish I did. I didn't really set this up to tee it off well.
Wait.
Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
No, I just wonder. So is that the spooky stories?
No, that's just setting it up there.
Oh, okay.
That's traumatizing.
Okay.
That's traumatizing.
I didn't know if we were still getting there. Or...
No, I gotta let this simmer a little bit because Jake, you're gonna set us up with the spooky story before I get into mine. Because mine, you may need to make sure all your lights are on. I want to show you mine. It still doesn't make sense. Music, seriously. This I don't joke around about music unless I'm talking about Weird Al. But how often do I bring that up? But this is kind of cool. And I'll naturally share some stuff here on the screen. There is some talks. You guys very familiar with this possible AI shit that's going on more and more, especially when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Some people like it, some don't. Now, I'm in favor of this. Now, I don't have all the exact details, but I have been getting some information from what I watch on YouTube. And you guys have heard of a band. I'm sure you have a little band called Nirvana. Come as you are. Take your time.
About a girl.
Kind of smells like.
Oh yeah.
Kind of smells like Teen Spirit.
The blonde dude.
Yes, Mr. Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I always have a hard time. I can't joke about Kurt because I miss him so much. So many others.
Yeah.
There's that side of me that just can't stop. But if Kurt was here right now, he'd say, Scott, shut the fuck up and start doing your thing.
Yeah, he wasn't serious.
Something tells me that. Chris, I always butcher his last name, the bass player from Nirvana, Chris Novoselic. I think I got it right. If I butcher it, I apologize, Nirvana fans. And of course, as we all know, Dave Grohl was the last drummer, and Pat Smears, who was not in the last recording of Nirvana's last album, but he played live with Nirvana. Now, Kurt Cobain, if you follow enough, if you're a huge fan of Nirvana, a lot of you guys out there know, and I apologize once again if I butcher any of this information that I'm hearing, because I do not want to butcher any of this because I have too much respect for that band and to miss what we could have had and don't have. But Kurt was known to record a lot of music in like a closet. He would go in a closet, isolate himself, write music down, and record it into like a tape player. Now, with today's technology, with this whole AI thing going on, Chris has actually invited Dave Grohl and Pat to join him to really record like a new Nirvana album using Kurt's songs that he wrote. And they can separate links. You could separate, like we go to a recording studio. It would be Kurt's songs. It'd be songs that he wrote, but it would be an AI, artificial insemination type of thing where it would be, like I said, I apologize for butchering this shit. Chris is so much better with words than I am. I wish I would have shared this with him before we recorded because he could probably tell the story better than I could. But I find it quite fascinating, and I welcome it because it's Kurt's words. It's his music. And the fact that Chris wants to do it, I would love that. And I hope it happens. Well, now, I don't know if there's any official word if Dave and Pat's agreed to it, but something tells me they're going to. It's been long enough now. You know what I mean? Why not?
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, Nirvana, let's face it, I think I was privileged enough to be in my early 20s when we heard, oh my God, it was like reliving Van Halen again. That's how big Nirvana was for my soul. The hairs, just fell in love with this band.
That's crazy.
I mean, when I get into a Nirvana, if I just listen to anything, I'm like, I get lost in that world. Sorry, it's my little selfishness there, but yeah, it is crazy.
I mean, I know those guys are not nervous. I mean, Dave Grohl's like one of the best musicians in the fucking world. I mean, I know he's not nervous about approaching that, but I just me thinking as a normal human being, not Dave Grohl, that would be so daunting and so much pressure on. God, that would be insane.
Which I should add to this, by the way, they're thinking about doing this with some Beatles, and Paul McCartney. In more recent years, you hear him talk more about John Lennon. You know, how he's just missing John. I mean, it's been so long. Guys, I'm 53 years old. John Lennon was killed, assassinated when I was 10. That's how long it's been. I'm trying to tell myself, filter it ahead. Let's don't go down this rabbit hole when it comes to Beatles and the Nirvana, because, you know, back in the day in the 90s, punk artists, you know, they didn't want to talk about the Beatles because it wasn't cool. So the actual Nirvana, the guys in the band, they call it the B word, which referred to the Beatles, because technically, as time goes by, as you hear more and more, as you learn more, Kurt, Dave, Chris, they were huge fans of the Beatles. So as soon as Butch, who was their engineer, their producer for the first Nirvana album, he wanted to double Kurt's vocals. And Kurt's like, nah, I don't want to do that. John Lennon did it. And as soon as Kurt let it sink in, because he was a huge fan of John Lennon, okay, I guess we'll try it then.
Give it a shot.
One of his idols did. I mean, John Lennon. You know, John Lennon was really I don't want to go was. You know what? I got to be careful with that rabbit hole. I just thought this was really fascinating. And since Chris and I really haven't tackled our music subject in a while, I thought this is just too damn interesting not to bring up.
That's massive, man. That's, fuck.
Yeah.
That's daunting.
It's kind of spooky, but at the same time, I'm good with it.
You know, I mean, when you have an artist such as a Kurt Cobain, and that state of mind he was in at that point in his life, we don't really know.
Yes, thank you.
We don't know where he was at, what kind of songs he wrote, what we're even getting involved into. I mean, that's daunting. I mean,
Kurt never gave himself enough credit. He never did.
Damn.
All right. I want to think of this as a positive thing. I always have to stir in that direction. This
it would
is
be
a
amazing.
positive thing.
It would be amazing.
God, I'd love to hear some Nirvana music that we didn't get to hear.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Jake, you got any music news for us, bud?
I'm a happy bunny. As you can see here, I'm clapping my hands. I'm a happy bunny.
We're in October. We're searching for new Halloween spooky stuff, right? I mean, Jada scared the shit out of us. She's been scaring Will. And thank you, Kurt Cobain. Thank you, Nirvana, for actually lifting up my spirits, because this is a feel-good thing. So thank you. You got me out of my Jada shit. So, Jake, you get to relax on that beverage a little more. I may not depend on your encyclopedia. See, Jada fucked me up again.
Okay, listen, since she keeps fucking you up, are we really believing her that she hasn't been with him? They've been separated. Are we really believing that?
Money, 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 money.
I ain't believing that.
I could use some of that shit right now. All right, Jake, my friend, after you get done sipping on that harder lemonade.
Yeah.
Got anything spooky to share with us throughout your life from your 10 years? Anything spooky that's happened to you or someone that you know?
Yeah, I was in the third grade, and
oh shit.
I went into the bathroom, and I swear I turned off the lights. I said Bloody Mary 3 or 4 times, and I swear.
Oh no, you didn't.
I saw 2 red eyes in the mirror, and I freaked out.
When this is at school, correct?
No, at home.
What age were you at that point?
Third grade. I was like 8, 9. Shit.
I don't remember how we were at that age.
Around 8 or 9.
I can't. We were young. We were before we were teens. So, right? Yeah. So you did the Bloody Mary thing 3 times, which is, didn't they say that at least in the movie with Candyman as well?
Yeah, 5 times for Candyman. But yeah.
Okay. Well, damn.
So you for sure saw 2 red eyes.
Yes, it was just like in freaking Amityville Horror, but in the mirror.
Oh.
And the reason why I had to ask again, this wasn't at school. Because, you think, I automatically thought of, let's say the power went out, the timing.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I thought you were. I thought you were at school.
Oh, no,
That's okay, referencing but I mean, that's a good reference point. I get it. Because you still remember that. I was around in third grade. That's about how old I was. So yeah, I see Chris thinking at school. And I was like, what, did lights go out? That's,
Yeah, I know, right?
that would have been freaky.
Then you think the exit sign with the red lights, but why the fuck would they have an exit? Well, they should have an exit sign in the bathroom.
So I don't know. Where do you go from there? Have you tried to make it make sense, or have you just accepted that was a spooky fucking thing and I'm never doing that again?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm never doing that again.
You saying that, Jake, makes me think of, there's urban legends. That's one of them, just like Crybaby Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Ohio and also many other states around this country of ours. There's so many Crybaby Bridges in each state, which makes you think, this is all a bunch of BS. And they're fun. If you ever go down that rabbit hole on YouTube, just type in Crybaby Bridge, and there's so many cool videos about it. People have done different stuff. Even I myself ventured into Crybaby Bridge once. And this isn't really my spooky story, but at the time, because your mind is so involved into it, okay, there's a town north of where I live, where my son used to live in Troy, in the outskirts. I found it on one of the urban legend maps, if I remember, a website, right? The website, let's all believe in the web. And there was a particular part, I'm trying to remember the street, but this Crybaby Bridge, which is modern bridge today. So me and somebody who I used to associate with, we went to go check it out. We did the whole because I think every state or every movie or every story, there's always, you put the baby powder on the not the hood, but the trunk or the bumper, so you can see little baby prints or whatever. And there's always a story that the mother threw the baby over the bridge. There's always these different versions of it. Or you put your car neutral on the bridge, and then whatever the fuck. We butchered it up at the time because we were kind of nervous. So we drove up there, set the car on the bridge. And we, of course, thought we heard stuff in the creek, like babies crying. Why the fuck were we hear babies crying in the creek? Ooh. It was in our heads, I think. But it was fun.
It was a frog.
I think you were right. It was a frog. I know the street. I'm telling you, it looks like your average, ordinary, common bridge today. There's nothing creepy about it. But yeah, as soon as you said that, Jake, not saying that yours is an urban legend, that you were like seeing shit or whatever, because, I wasn't there.
It's cool.
You remembered it since this was third grade, but I've never done that before. I don't think I've ever had the balls to do that. Not in this house, because I still have to pay this fucking thing off. So I'm not going to do any Bloody Marys in these mirrors over here. It's bad enough I have to look at this in the mirror, if you know what I mean. So
I'll second that. I've never done Bloody Mary. I've never done Candyman. Never done any of those.
I don't even think I've had the Bloody Mary drink, but I have sure as hell have enjoyed a Jameson Orange.
I've had a Bloody Mary now.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty tasty.
Well, folks, I think that'll do it for today's video.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if I want to tell the story, man.
Where's yours at?
Come on now.
Hey, come on now.
All right. A long time ago, I was actually traveling out west, and this was before my son was born. And I was determined to get from point A to point B and like that. But when you're traveling from Ohio to the West Coast, it's impossible. And I decided to pull over, found a little motel room, and I was like, I got to get some sleep. So I get to this motel, and I'm, going to settle in, try to get some sleep and all that, because it was getting kind of, anyways. It is, you guys, I'm sure you'd understand, if you've had one of those long weeks or long days, and when you finally get to the point where you're going to settle down, maybe lay in your own bed, you're so tired you can't sleep. You know what I mean? You're just so exhausted.
Right.
That's exactly how I felt. And I was also hungry. So I'm basically in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where the fuck I'm at, but I have enough senses to say I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I figured I'd go up to the front, maybe find a vending machine or whatnot. And I could hear the guy that was the manager of this motel talking to somebody else. And the conversation seemed somewhat intriguing, so I'm snooping into their conversation. And it was quite obvious he was speaking to a woman. So I'm wanting to get his attention because I couldn't find the vending machine or something. I'm hoping maybe he could tell me. So I'm like, hey, trying my best. But then I'm getting more intrigued about this conversation. But the reason why I was so intrigued is the guy who was managing this place. I'm trying to remember the name of the damn motel. Something with the B. I don't know, something B, whatever. It'll come to me. This is why I'm hoping Jake will help me out here. But this fucker was creeping me out. He was a little creepy. Apparently he lived in this like house, not in one of the hotel rooms or anything. There's like this house behind this motel, not a hotel, but a motel. And I'm even more hungry because he's feeding her and I'm wanting some fucking food, right? He like gave her like cheese sandwiches. I'm hungry.
Bitch, where's my cheese sandwich?
Exactly. But I'm still kind of creeped out a little bit because this guy, his body language, it's just he was like a nervous Nelly type, you know? Uh-huh. If you don't know what I'm talking about, folks, look it up. Or Jake, do you know what a nervous Nelly is?
Sounds like you're talking about Norman Bates.
Anxiety?
Oh, but,
something like
Nelly,
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that. Well, anyways, I started walking around, started taking, measurements on my own. I want to find this vending machine, and I see this fucking house. This house is creepy alone. And by the way, as I'm trying to at least get to the point where I'm getting some, one of the things that this guy's talking about, he's obsessed about his mother, and that she lives in this house with him. Well, but there's just something about it that ain't right. I get my fucking food. Anyways, I'm going back. I'm trying to hope that this food. This is when I was thin. And I could fall asleep eating comfy food, because that's what I was hoping for. Well, as I'm falling asleep, and I am finally at the point where I'm dead to the world, I'm hearing something to my right. And I don't know if I was dreaming or not, but it sounded like somebody was screaming. I didn't put, because I'm so tired at this point. Eventually, I awaken from this shit. Now, I'm a little nervous about this. I'll admit I'm a chicken shit at this point because I'm not sure. Am I sleeping? What the fuck's going on here?
Uh-huh.
Well, I get up. I'm looking, peeking out the window, like, out the front window, the only window you got, right? In a fucking motel room.
Right.
I don't see anything. I don't see a fucking thing. I go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and leave the next day. But I'm like, like sometimes when you're dreaming about shit, you can't remember your dreams. Yeah. So the next time, like, I'm doing my thing. I'm getting ready, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. I'm like, wait, was I dreaming last night about somebody fucking screaming? And about cheese sandwiches and shit? The dreams are fucking weird. Sometimes they go in different directions all the time. And your mother? Somebody, I don't fucking know. But anyways, my whole point of it is I finally get to my destination. And when I get there, there was something on the news about this fucking woman that's missing. And it was at the same fucking hotel or motel I was staying at. And then I think it was a few years later. I don't know. It might have been here recently. That guy was responsible for fucking killing a sheriff and supposedly this mother. Some spooky fucking shit. I'm telling you that. I mean, the guy was fucking psycho from what it sounds like. Just cuckoo. I butchered the fuck out of this, didn't I?
No,
it was good.
Just thinking.
I did butcher it. Guys, I was trying to figure out a way to share something scary with all of you. I was stealing. See, the thing of it is, do you ever hear of a movie called Psycho with Alfred Hitchcock?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
See, I was actually taking some parts from that movie and I was sharing you some bullshit story. I did travel out west, but this didn't happen. I didn't get a hotel room. I was just trying to fuck with you guys.
Oh, come on now.
I know. I do have one story, though, where I did witness somebody get killed, but I won't go there. No, because that's just too much.
Shit.
No, I won't go there.
No,
I will not
Jake
go there.
hit it. I mean, Jake hit it. He called it out.
Yeah, Jake, you weren't really supposed to really define that moment, but that's okay. We went with it.
Yeah.
Because you are a walking encyclopedia. It's okay. We're having fun here. Because I actually, earlier when I was on my way to the liquor store before I discovered this place that's been there for years, I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about tonight? What are we going to talk about? You know what? Spooky stories. Because there has been times, and I'm being all serious here, there has been times throughout the years where you get together with old friends or new friends and you start talking about, spooky shit that's happened. And we haven't really done that here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why not? That's a part of Halloween. Trick or treat, motherfuckers.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's throughout my life, there has been stories that I've heard from other friends, or I know there was a time that something spooky did happen.
Yeah, I gotta have something real though. I gotta have a real one. You gotta give me a real one.
Okay.
I gave you the bat story. Come on.
The bat story. I mean, how the fuck can I walk away from my Batman shit? I did like a couple parts of something that did happen. And this was let me think about this carefully. It was the day after Halloween, November 1st, of course. What year was that? It was in the 90s. This was before my son was born. Anyways, there was we'll take an old Cutlass. I'm trying to remember the actual car. They're out cruising around the day after. I mean, what was one of the things that a lot of people used to do back in the day, really after Halloween, is they'd go pumpkin snatching. They'd find these pumpkins on people's yards or porches, and they'd grab them. And this is, folks, if you're actually listening and watching right now, do not do this. Do not try this at home. Do not steal people's pumpkins off of people's porches and then throwing them at mailboxes.
It's okay.
Okay? This is an adult channel anyways, okay?
It's got to be kids.
Yes, no matter how old you are. But they decided they were going to go out pumpkin snatching on November 1st. So they're out cruising, and it's a dark night. It's almost like the moon was full October 31st. The next, it's fucking gone. So they're out cruising around on a street out in Vandalia in a rural area. I think I pronounced that right for the first time. And if not, just agree with me. And they actually get to this point where there's a railroad track, and there's a guy. This park is literally dead on the middle of this railroad track. I mean, here's a railroad track, cars floating over it, sitting there. So you got 2 people in the front, 3 people in the back, 2-door sedan, like an old Oldsmobile. Mm-hmm. So they make that decision like you see in every fucking horror movie. Well, they're agree to disagree into turning around to go help this guy out. People in the back did not want to help him out. People in front, well, let's go back. So they turn around, they pull it behind the guy. They were trying to be safe because it's on a railroad track. They're going to help him out, but they don't want to get hit by a train. So they keep somewhat of a distance. So the 2 people in the front, they get out, they go ask the guy who's driving like this Corsica, this blue Corsica, 4-door sedan, GM Corsica. Look that up, folks. I may actually add the photo. If not, if I don't remember, look it up. Ugly GM car back then. But anyways.
Oldsmobile and a Corsica.
Yeah. They get out, ask the guy simply, hey, because his hood's up, by the way. Duh. Ask him, hey, is there anything we could do to help out? Maybe push the car out of the way or something? He says, I think I just need to jump. So they go back to the car thinking they have jumper cables in the back or whatever. And as they're walking back to the car, they hear something, and I didn't tell you this yet, Jake, and anybody else who's watching and listening, thank you so fucking much. There's this like cornfield, I kid you not, on one side of the road, and on the other, more or less, your typical creepy midlife loser, Midwest town, because there were some midlife losers out there, hint, hint. Remember that? It's just dark. Yeah. Some midlife losers in the Midwestern town of Ohio. So as you got two individuals walking back to the car, trying to find some jumper cables, you still got this guy who's kind of, benched over like you typically see with, you got the hood up, he's kinking around with like he's going to be able to start his car that way, right? And there's still three people in the back seat of this,
No idea what he's fucking doing up there, probably.
Exactly. It's fucking dark. We didn't have cell phones with lights on them back then, so keep that in mind. He didn't have a flashlight. We did have those back in the day. Well, he hears something, and so does the rest of them, this like roaring sound. But they could tell instinctively in a few moments, it sounded like a fucking chainsaw. Not a motorcycle, not a, Sears Craftsman drill, but a Sears Craftsman. Wink, wink, get it? I think that's what the chainsaw was. Anyways, it was a chainsaw. And they start seeing, how like we all are as human beings, if you get in a complete dark area, it's dark, that all of a sudden your eyes get adjusted to that darkness and you can kind of see things. Well, that's what they could see from this field that's really to all of their west, coming to them towards the east. And it's a fucking lunatic with a chainsaw like Leatherface. He's got on a trench coat, I kid you not, with a fucking chainsaw, screaming at them. I mean, in profanity. We're talking serious Rob Zombie. Get the fuck out of here over and over and over again. Oh, yeah. Fuck, motherfucker. I mean, over and over and over again. I mean, he's going nuts. And he goes after the guy who's having car troubles first. I mean, he's telling him to get. Why didn't he come out of the field earlier with the guy who's, that's his catchphrase. Get the fuck out of here. He's having car troubles. He would gladly like to get out of there. So here he is. He's approaching this guy who's having car troubles. The guy's trying to dude, look, I'm sorry. I'm trying to leave. He's got his back towards these other people in the other car.
I'm bad, bro.
He slashes the guy. I mean, the chainsaw. The guy just falls to the ground because he's just got a chainsaw right up against his chest.
Chainsaw.
I mean, he bloody married the hell out of him, Jake. He did. Then the fucker turns around screaming, we're saying Rob Zombie, going nuts. I mean, this guy is outrageously mad and angry. He starts chasing I guess he thinks he owns this area. And this was in Vandalia, not far from where I live. You got people in the backseat of the car screaming their fucking head off because of what they were witnessing, what's going on. And it's a two-door sedan, an Oldsmobile. It's not as easy for them, but plus they're scared, My instinct is I want to get the fuck out of there, but whatever. It's just not because these were like the seats that kind of folded up on an angle. I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine what they're fucking going through, right? Like I said, he's chasing after these two. They manage to escape. They get back to the car. Of course, the guy who's driving, he's scared shitless. He can't find the keys like you see in all the other horror movies. You think he was looking for him up the blinds? No, he didn't put him up the blinds. But here comes the dramatic moment. The guy's getting closer and closer. The people in the back street are fucking screaming their head off. Get us the fuck. I mean, it's just going nuts. I mean, duh. They just would this guy get killed. They're thinking they're going to get killed. At any moment, they may get killed. Eventually, they they just take off like a bat out of hell. Remember Chris Bats? Like a bat out of hell. Folks, if you're confused about the whole bat thing, you got to go back and check out the last podcast where Chris talks about his bat experience. It's batty.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So they take off. Now, Jake, you may have remembered this story that I shared on my other YouTube channel because it did go into two parts. And maybe you haven't. And folks, if you are listening for the first time, the reason why I know all about this, well, I'm living in the Oregon district in downtown Dayton at the time, okay? The people that were in the back seat, they come along inside the house where I'm living at. They're sharing this story to me. I mean, and I want to make this very clear. At that time in my life, and this is getting a little bit personal, I quit drinking for a while. I had a serious drinking problem. You're like, well, fuck, we haven't noticed a thing there. But at that time I did. I quit drinking completely. For 2 years, all I did was drink Coca-Cola and coffee. That was it. So I was completely sober at the time, and there was reasons for it. I don't need to get into it because I don't want to ruin the story. And that's no bullshit. I quit drinking completely. So I'm hearing this story from the driver and the passenger, what had happened. The three other individuals, well, one was still fucking shaken from what happened. And I could see on his pants that he had pissed himself. The other one, a female, had the mascara runs, all that stuff. They're selling this situation so well that I'm drinking my coffee. I had to go back in the kitchen to get some more because this moment just happened. We all know when shit happens, when shit hits the fan, the story is just so much more clear, so much more bright, full with colors. I go back in and they get closer to the end. And then the guy who was driving turned to the woman with all the, the mascara running. And of course, her friend sitting next to him. And their name was Jimmy and Shelby. Shelby or my son, he had a dog named Shelby. And so I'm getting it mixed up. I do apologize. Shelly. Jimmy, Shelly. By the way, I just want to inform you. The guy that got killed, that was one of Scott's friends. And the guy that was with the chainsaw. And at that point, I start laughing my ass off because I remember having the cup of coffee and Jimmy just pointed towards me. And Jimmy slowly looked at me. And at this point, I was just trying so hard not to laugh because the story was built so well. And they literally, this was, like I said, my son was born in 95. So this was before 95. Mm-hmm. I was told by them after I got hit pretty hard by Shelly, we're going to get you back someday.
Hit pretty hard.
I mean, she was boom, 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 boom. Now the chain, of course, was removed from the chainsaw. The guy who I he literally told me because we prepared for this because we did a practical joke earlier that day. Go ahead and put it across my chest. First of all, the theater of the mind. Chris and I have talked about that in the past. That's what they received, the theater of the mind, because my back was towards them. Even though I didn't want the chain, the vibrating metal, to go across my friend's chest, he said, do it anyways, because it does. It just vibrates. It doesn't hurt. So because I'm trying to do the Leatherface dance. And I am literally screaming at the top of my lungs.
Fuck.
And I'm wearing goggles, so you can't see my eyes, and I'm wearing a ball cap like Chris is wearing right now. So I'm trying to disguise. And Chris, by the way, I still have the trench coat. I still have the trench coats in my closet hanging up with my coveralls.
Oh, goodness.
I will never get rid of that thing. My fat ass can't wear it now, but that to me, I was trying to create a new character. And I think I had a sock hat over my face with goggles. And I think the Sears Craft it was a Sears chainsaw. Anyways.
In those situations, for that brief period of time to where they experienced this and then came back and told you that story, the horror and the imagination that they had inside their heads, like we just witnessed a homicidal maniac.
Oh yeah. And we had planned all this out. Pete, okay, they took, and I didn't add this. When they took off, man. See, it was all planning out to where I would get back to the house before they did. Because, by the way, there were like I mentioned, there were 3 people in this, the back of the sedan. One of them was actually in on it as well. This was my very first real girlfriend, who sadly had passed away in 2018. She did such an amazing job. She was even performing the, get us the fuck out of here. Blah. I mean, she was going nuts too. Cause I could hear them. Even though I had that chainsaw and my own screaming, I was purposely trying to do some body language close to the car so I could see them and hear them. Even though I was risking laughing my ass off, but I was so energized living in the moment. And naturally, I don't want to hurt a single soul. Like I said, the chain was removed. I'm not going to touch Jimmy or Shell. But as David's portraying that cinematic scene like they do in all the horror movies, we all knew I was going to get close to the car. As soon as I got really close, because I was going to take the chainsaw to the back of the trunk, which I was not, that's when he was going to take off. And I could hear them, get us the fuck out of here. And they were going nuts.
And then you're dancing in the road.
Oh, yeah. I was doing, because I'm hoping this was a time, yes, I wish we would have had cameras set up, because as time had gone by, even to this very day, that would have been an awesome scene to record to share later, whether it got on YouTube or I don't care. But getting up to that present, like I said, we're setting up to where I get, because Megan and I lived in the Oregon district on 6th Street. So they're killing time. Me and my friend Pete, we had to get back. So we're kind of going, I knew the area, still do know the area well. So we're taking the long way back. Sure as shit, into this very day. It's not far from the FedEx grounds terminal. That's where, how they're putting more houses now. There was that road, Old Springfield Road, when we turned left off of Castle, the road was blocked. There was a fire truck, a paramedic and all. I'm like, what? We just started thinking, oh shit, they fucking called the cops on us. And the individuals that were in the Oldsmobile, the 5, they went to a convenience store that's no longer on the corner of Brown School and National Road. Now it's a very, very well populated bar and a Chinese takeout. But it was at the time as a convenience store, so that should give me more of a reference to the time frame. But they went there because the people in the back, the one that I made, I should say we all did, with the individual that pissed himself, scared. In other words, I'm involved with a practical joke where I scared somebody so badly that I made someone pee themselves.
That's a pat on the back.
Yeah, it is. So, folks, I guess the moral of this story, yes, we're having fun here. This is the second part. That was one of my reasons why I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Myers, yes, is king. He always will be. But Leatherface, there's just something so creepy, so, demonistic about him with that chainsaw. It could frighten the shit out of you, especially when you got some fucking who loved practical jokes back when he was in his 20s. The chainsaw is a lot more effective than a white mask. I'll say that to my dying day, because I never seen Michael have others piss themselves. He just kills them in time.
Oh, poor guys.
Yeah, fuck them.
Poor guys.
So, did they ever get me back? No. So, kids, don't try this at home. Don't hurt your friends. Be safe.
See, I say the other one.
As I got Michael standing behind me right now going, motherfucker, you are praising that goddamn Gunnar Hansen right now.
I say the other side. Practical jokes.
I'm wearing a Michael shirt as I say this shit.
Yeah, come on. You got to do it.
What, hit that fucking button?
No.
Oh, not yet?
Oh, fuck. We're approaching it, aren't we?
Yeah. I shared my scary stories. I didn't tell you the one that I did when I lived on Kohler Avenue. It's real short. My cousin and I, Johnny, we were going down the stairs and felt something. This is an old creepy house. Always felt something weird about it. But as we're going down these stairs in a very narrow hallway, and this is no bullshit. And the last story wasn't bullshit. It really did happen. But as I turned around and so did Johnny, we thought we had witnessed what we couldn't tell if it was in our mind, because that's what people tell us it's a ghost, but it kind of looked like an older woman. Like she went through us. I don't know. No, I know it sounds like I'm kidding, but I'm not.
Passed through you, huh?
Because this house that I was, we were 2020 Kohler. It was hot. There was no air condition. There was, in other words, in the wintertime, we froze our asses off. In the summertime, heat rises, and this was in the summer. And John was a year younger than me. And I don't even think I might have been 12. He might have been 11. So we're running down this narrow, because there was walls on each side of these stairwells. And it felt like this cool breeze. And why did both of us turn our heads around and go, what the fuck was that? I know.
I've never felt a cool breeze and been like, huh, bitch just passed through me.
Yeah. So that's like my only true, what the fuck just happened story. No, it's boring compared to Leatherface and chainsaws, right?
Huh.
Yep. Ghost Adventures ain't got shit on Leatherface.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I mean, I've heard people share all kinds of interesting ghost stories, but I thought, you know what? Like I stated, it's October. It's spooky time. Whether it's, bats on Park 1, Bloody Mary.
That's all
on
I
2,
got, man. Nothing really freaks me out.
Your daughter being freaked out by a reflection of some long dark hair. Which, when you mentioned being 2 years old, I was putting the two, and I'm like, they always show like young toddlers and babies having these more, I don't know what you call it, but they have like these. It seems like your mind's so much more clear and not destroyed so much by what the theaters have brought to us. Which,
sure.
By the way, I'll end it on this. I guess people are being ruined by the Exorcist believer in the theaters right now.
Ruined?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Apparently, it's a fucking joke.
Oh yeah, all the reviews.
Yeah.
I will say we were not wrong on that.
Yeah. It's a good way to end this fucking podcast by not talking about the fucking believer. Unless, Jake, did you see it yet?
No, not yet, Scott.
Not yet. You're gonna wait
You
till
want to see it?
I don't know. Maybe not.
On the fence?
Just wait till it comes on the cock.
When does it?
They're gonna probably sooner than later. It will be on the streaming service. They announced it. This just goes to show you that's a piss poor fucking film. They were indecisive because the original release date was going to be the 13th. But then they're like, oh, fuck, we can't go against fucking Taylor Swift. So they decided to go on a week earlier than that.
I mean, it's getting panned across the board, I'm pretty sure.
So I would assume that it's going to be on the cock sooner than later. It's going to need some help. It needs the streaming services, which we talked about earlier.
Ugh.
It needs the cock's help. That's right.
Don't we all, though?
Yes, I've said it time and time again. Well, folks, I've had a lot of fun here. We had to end it on the cock, on the Exorcist believers. Do you believe?
That's fitting.
Yeah. The trailers basically ruined it for us. Sorry, Jake.
I don't even know if there was anything to ruin.
Yeah. If you had a chance to see the original Exorcist, that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's still considered
it's
one
haunting, it's disturbing, it's something that sticks with people 30 years later. It's
Jake, do you know by any chance? I heard the number and I forget it. It's like the 6th or 9th all-time horror films, scariest films of all time. The Exorcist. Do you know what number that? I know I heard that recently, but I can't remember which one it was. But it's 6 or 9, one of the two. Hell, I may have butchered that, but
it was up there. It's one that people always remember, and sometimes some people avoid it for the rest of their lives because they just don't want to watch it again.
My own mother did. She seen it once, and she's never again. I know today people laugh at it. But at the same time, I think it's the Exorcist 2023 audience. Let's say individuals that are 16, let's say 18 to be, I think they were on the fence about it. Yeah, I don't know why people find it so creepy, but after they, maybe gotten a little bit older, now they're 21, they're like, you know what, I kind of get it, because there will never be a film, whether in the horror industry, there will never be one like that one. No. Hollywood doesn't have the balls for it. That, and it's illegal to do a lot of shit that they did in that film.
Yeah. A whole lot of that is phased out. They can't do that shit no more.
Yeah. And I mean, granted,
there'll be no crucifixes.
To be fair, they did try to introduce some more, green pea shit in this one from what I've heard. So
green peas?
Yeah, whatever that fucking throw up stuff they were using looked like green peas.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I've heard some other reviews talk about what they had to bring that shit back again. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think I'm done sharing some scary stuff.
You know what? I'm sure we'll see it soon, and we'll probably have plenty to talk about. I'm sure.
If it doesn't deceive us next, that's for sure.
It will.
Yeah. Jake, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really do appreciate it. I mean, this was that last moment too. I mean, I wanted to surprise Chris and, like, holy shit, there's Jake.
Yeah, I was surprised. Happy to see you, brother.
Thanks again for having me on, you guys. Happy to be on.
No problem. And if, don't ever feel, like you have to share any stories with us here. You don't have to. You could just sit back and listen to us.
I can do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. And if you got anything cool to share, like, by the way, I noticed you're wearing a Mr. Robert England t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
You can always share that if you want to.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
It's okay. Nah, I just noticed that even when I listen to myself as I'm editing, I'm like, I don't think we're ever going to have him come back and join us again, Chris. So thank you, Chris. Or thank you, Jake. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
It's going to be a change of scenery for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool way to do it. I mean, people, what the fuck? Then again, if you think about it, Chris's background or DTOFs, chances are, and I'm speaking out of my ass here, I'm sure in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be completely different. Watch the DTOFs and be in the background.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. That's not changing.
Not the new
They
bar.
will be added to, though. They will be added to. I've already talked to Mr. Morgan. Say it's in the works.
I feel so bad. I think him and I have been playing phone tag. And if he is listening or watching right now, Chris, we will catch up because it's always been like, oh, shit, life happens. And I get it because he reached out to me while I was in the process of a soccer game. And I was even showing. Man, hopefully he could join us on here sometime. That would be great. We'd love to hear his concept on chainsaws and music and 24 hours later, just trying to figure out a way not to throw in the white mask stuff, but trying to say Morgan's more than just about white mass production.
But he is a vast knowledge of white mass. He can tell you pretty much anything that's happened in the whole independent scene in the last like 25 years. It's crazy. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I don't know how he's keeping all this shit straight.
Because it was more fascinating back in the day than it is now. Thanks to that fucking trilogy that had it ruined it.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. No, Jake, if you haven't had a chance to see it, Chris Morgan is working on a new project right now that has to do with Keith Sutherland.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. It's going to be a silicone. He's working on that right now. So that'd be cool for him to
saw
share.
that fucking thing, I mean,
Maybe that's when he's got it done, he can share that with us on in here.
I could think of nothing else but fucking.
That's why I was trying to throw in the 24 hours thing.
Was it David?
Yeah.
Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It looks straight up
That's
just
because
like that.
it's Keith Sutherland.
I know. I just.
Sorry.
I don't know. Like I don't picture Flatliners. I don't picture 24. I just see Lost Boys. I don't know why.
The sad thing about it is, as we were just having brief conversation text wise, I had to bring up fucking Breaking Bad about but he appreciated it because we were talking about like Mr. White and Pink and all. We're talking about directors and all that, but I don't know. He got it. He understood. It was appreciation towards, 24 hours. And it was the era. I was like, I was thinking of 24. And then at that time was also Breaking Bad. It was just that I think of it hand in hand. So
We can't explain our brains. They just do what they want.
Yeah, Vince Gillian, if you're listening, we'd love for you to direct a horror film.
It's just noodles, Michael.
They're only noodles, Michael.
It's been a while since Chris has asked me a very important question, or more or less prompted me to do something here.
Please hit that motherfucking button.
Chris and I want to thank you for listening or watching Meet Us in the Man Cave. Since you enjoyed watching us, make sure you want to tell all your friends about us, subscribe today, and click on that notification bell. It's going to be helping you being reminded when our next episode is uploaded or even possibly a live stream video. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. You can listen or download to Meet Us in the Man Cave on your favorite podcasting app, available to stream or download so you can listen to us all you want, whenever you want. For more information, go to meetusinthemancave.podbean.com.